The specific requirements for becoming a lawyer in the United States vary depending on the state or territory where you decide to practice law. However, the basics are the same throughout the country. Generally, you'll need to graduate from law school and pass the state bar exam to be licensed to practice law in the United States. While it can be a lucrative field, it requires at least 7 years of schooling after high school and a great deal of work. Step number 1: develop your interest in law in high school. You don't have to wait until law school to start gaining skills and experience that will help you in the practice of law. Join your high school's debate or moot court team, and participate in other activities relevant to the legal field. It doesn't hurt to take Latin if your school offers it. Many legal terms are in Latin, so knowing the language will give you a heads up and keep you from having to memorize a bunch of foreign terms. Take classes such as criminal justice for electives, if offered. These classes will give you an introduction to the legal issues faced by attorneys every day. Step number 2: get a bachelor's degree from a 4-year college or university. You generally can practice law unless you have a law degree from the law school. To be eligible to apply to law school, you must have a bachelor's degree from a 4-year college or university. Law schools accept students from any department or major. While English, communications, history, and political science majors are common, many lawyers have degrees in science or technical fields. A degree in a science or technical field will help you if you want to practice patent law. If you wanted to work in insurance or healthcare law, a nursing degree might be helpful. Maintaining a high GPA will improve your chances of getting into a good law, and potentially qualify you for scholarship money. Most law schools require a GPA of at least 3.0 to qualify for admissions. Step number 3: work part-time at a court or law firm. While in high school and college, if you can find work at a law firm or a local courthouse, these will give you exposure to legal issues and help prepare you for practicing law. If you know what area of law you want to go into, try to find work in that area. Don't worry if you're not sure what area of law you want to practice in yet. You have plenty of time to decide, and many people don't make their final decision until they're already in law school. Use this time to explore areas that capture your interest. Step number 4: take the LSAT during your senior year of undergraduate study. The Law School Admissions Test, LSAT, is a half-day standardized test. All law schools accredited by the American Bar Association, ABA, have this test as an admissions requirement. The test is offered in June, October, and December. Take it as early as possible. The LSAT is a measure of your reading comprehension and verbal reasoning skills. You can pick up study guides online or in bookstores. There are also prep classes available that you can attend. Start studying for the test as soon as possible. Do at least 3 practice tests under simulated test conditions before you sit for the actual test. Step number 5: apply to several accredited law schools. After you've got your LSAT scores, you can sign up with the Law School Admissions Council, LSAC. This agency coordinates your test scores, applications, and recommendation letters and distributes them to schools on your behalf. You cannot apply to law schools unless you go through this agency. Apply to at least one REACH school. This is a school with a low acceptance rate, or one for which your test scores and GPA fall at the low end of acceptances. Choose 2 or 3 schools where your test scores, GPA, and other credentials are competitive. You should fit comfortably in the middle of the range of students accepted by that school. Add on 1 or 2 safe schools. These are schools where your credentials are at the top end of the range of students accepted by that school, if not above the average range. Step number 6: dedicate yourself to success in law school. Once you choose your law school, be ready to focus and work hard for all 3 years. Join clubs and groups that are related to your legal interests to study law properly. Do the readings for each class, and try to give yourself time to review before each class. Most law school professors teach by Socratic method, where they randomly call on students and ask questions about the assigned reading. It's important to be prepared. Take notes and prepare an outline for each of your classes. This will help you study for the final exam. Most law school classes have only one final exam at the end of the semester. Your performance on this exam determines your grade for the entire course. Joining a study group can help you make better sense of the readings and understand the major themes for each class. Step number 7: decide where you want to practice law. Each state has its own bar admissions process. Choose the state where you want to practice law as soon as possible during your law school career so that you can start preparing for that state's bar. It's usually best to practice in the state where you go to law school. Your law school will be well known and there will be plenty of alumni hiring. In addition, law schools typically discuss the law in their state, but seldom the law of other states. If you want to practice law in another state, it will be up to you to learn the law for that state. Step number 8. Start filling out your bar application as soon as possible. The bar application is a hefty, detailed document. In most states, the initial application is 15 or 20 pages long and covers specific details over the last 10 years of your life. It may take you some time to complete it. When you get your bar application, skim through it first. Determine which questions will take you longer to answer. Step number 9. Identify questions you'll have to hunt down information for. Your bar application must be approved before you will be able to sign up for the bar exam. Get started on it as soon as possible. Step number 10. Sit for the MPRE in your third year of law school. Only Maryland, Washington, and Wisconsin don't require the MPRE. If you plan to practice in Connecticut or New Jersey, you don't have to take the test if you earned a grade of C or better in an ethics course in law school. Step number 11. Enroll in a bar study program. It's possible to pass the bar without taking any preparation programs or courses. However, bar passage rates are significantly higher among students who take prep courses. The cost of a bar study program pales in comparison to the stress and financial burden of having to take the bar exam twice. Bar study programs typically cost several $100s. They primarily get you ready for the multi-state bar exam, MBE, the multiple-choice portion of the bar exam. However, they also have practice essays to get you ready for the state portion of the exam. Bar study programs offer tests and simulated test conditions, which makes them the most valuable. The bar exam is a grueling, stressful experience. The more practice you have working under those circumstances, the calmer you'll be. Step number 12. Spend the summer after you graduate studying for the bar. You may have a hard time passing the bar if you just take a single bar study course and do nothing else. Create a study schedule for yourself and spend time each day studying for the bar. Take a practice test under simulated test conditions at least once a week. If you've accepted an offer from a large law firm, your firm likely has a bar study course and other resources available to you. Take advantage of them. Specific information about the topics covered by your state's bar exam can be found on the website of your state's Board of Bar Examiners. Step number 13. Complete an interview with a member of the local bar. Most states require you to sit down with a member of the local bar, who will ask you questions about your legal interests and why you want to practice law. While this may feel like a job interview, they typically aren't looking to hire you. Rather, they're trying to determine if you have the discipline and character necessary to serve as a member of the bar. You may also be asked questions about information from your bar application, including your educational background and experience. Step number 14. Take the bar in the jurisdiction where you intend to practice law. If you're approved for admission to the state bar, you have got one additional hurdle. The bar exam is an 18-day multiple-choice and essay test that typically takes place over 2 or 3 days. Unless you live extremely close to the bar exam testing site, it's a good idea to get a hotel room nearby for the duration of the test. This will allow you to focus and not have to worry about making long drives or arranging a ride. Step number 15. Wait to find out your bar exam results. After you take the bar exam, you'll have to wait several months to find out if you passed. In the meantime, you can start looking for a job, if you don't have one already. While you can't represent clients as an attorney until you've passed the bar and completed your state's licensing process, you can draft legal documents and do a lot of other legal work. The test results are typically posted online on a specific day, so you can find out if you passed immediately. Your final score on the bar exam typically isn't made available. If you find out you didn't pass, you can take the test again. You can take the bar exam as many times as you need to, although taking it more than 2 or 3 times would be quite a setback for your legal career. Step number 16. Perform well in a summer associate program. If you were fortunate enough to get hired as a summer associate at a large law firm, use that position to your advantage. Large law firms typically hire the top performers from their summer associate programs as permanent associates. Don't be afraid of asking your supervising associate what else you can do to stand out or set yourself apart from the other summer associates. Step number 17. Reach out to law professors for recommendations. Talk to professors who teach classes you've had a particular interest in, or that you did well in. If the professor offers more than one course, take all of them. Go to office hours, and get to know them as much as you can. In addition to writing reference letters, law professors frequently know practicing attorneys in the area. They may be able to provide you with a connection or introduce you to attorneys in a field you're interested in. Step number 18. Use your law school's career services office. Every law school has a career services office with resources to help you find a job as an attorney. These services are available not just to students but to graduates and alumni as well. It is in the law school's best interest to have high rates of employment among graduates. The Career Services Office is going to do everything it can to help you find a position and ensure that you succeed. Step number 19. Take advantage of networking opportunities. Finding a good position as a lawyer is less about what you know than about who you know. Go to State Bar Association mixers and other events to meet practicing lawyers who can help you find your place. Always act professionally at mixers or other events where members of the bar are present. Talk to as many people as you can and get your name out there. If alcohol is available at an event, limit yourself to one drink. Getting drunk or even getting buzzed won't impress practicing attorneys, even if they are imbibing themselves. Step number 20. Go to informational interviews. Informational interviews don't necessarily lead directly to a job. Rather, they are a way for you to bend the ear of a practicing attorney and learn more about the local bar and the market for attorneys where you live and want to work. Some informational interviews can lead you to find a mentor, but don't push it. When you meet someone who can mentor you in the profession, you'll feel it. Step number 21. Mail your resume to prospective firms. Unless you have a job offer when you graduate, you'll likely have to cold call firms looking for employment. Most of these are done through email. However, if you take the extra step of mailing a paper resume and cover letter, you'll likely get a better response. Few people go to this extra effort, and it will mean something to the hiring attorneys. Buy heavier bond paper and put some effort into making your resume and cover letter look professional. Keep in mind that hiring attorneys typically are older. They may appreciate getting a paper resume since this is a medium they're familiar with.